let's start with the basis of Ignitia. Ignitia is a company powered not for the business, but for we have a why, we have a goals. We want to work for those smallholder farmers in this world that is facing a constant climate change. And this is leading to more poverty in a lot of communities. And those communities, what they need the most is food security. The world and the countries need food security. And how crops and farming is an open air industry, and we need a lot from the weather. We depend on the weather. It's a very important work that we are doing to help you guys predict, perform, and generate profits to attend all of our whys: the food security, poverty, climate change, and smallholder farmers. Well, so now that you guys already have been introduced to Ignitia, I want to share with you a little bit more about how important good farming practices are. And it depends a lot on weather. So a good start to the farming season is not enough to guarantee a bountiful harvest. Likewise, a not so good start to the farming does not necessarily mean the season will end badly either. What that means is that we need to do the most from the planting all the way to the harvesting. And the ways how the weather plays during this window time period, is fundamental to us. So what must be done? What we can help and what farmers must do to ensure that this whole complicated process work as the best as it can. First thing, and this problem I see a lot in Brazil also, it's a lack of record keeping. That's because records are the bedrock of optimized and successful farming operations. Knowing what happened, where, when, and how on your farms make predictable success more profitable. So that's the thing. If you have records and those records are well taken, you can look behind and not just say, oh, here I have one more rain, and other place I have one less rain, and so on. And those records tend to be often better organized, and we end up not actually taking advantage of having them. And with Ignitia weather forecast platform, you're gonna have those records ready for you. So if you wanna look back, you can take a look and understand better of what happened during your farming season. Another point, which for me, Fabio, it's a key point for sustainability and long-term sustainability of farmers, it's maintaining the soil management in the best practices. Because with soil management, all to continue mid-season, this includes maintaining adequate and balanced nutrition by applying fertilizer and micronutrients, as well as reducing traffic within the farm area. Because the soil is the biggest asset of any farmer in the world, in Africa, in Brazil, anywhere, because it's from the soil, it's where he has his open air industry, that we spoke before. And he needs to rely on that. He needs to depend on that. And maintaining and using the best of their soil management practices are really, really important in order so we can take the most of them. Another key point is the pest control, because as you guys know, pests have a huge impact into the harvest. How much you harvest depends a lot on your pests. And pest activities can impact a lot the harvest negatively. So the correct use of pesticides at regular intervals will help ensure the crops are preserved for a good harvest. And what that means in this topic. So, for example, if you spray your crops and right afterwards you get a rain, you're gonna all the pesticides and all the chemicals gonna be gonna be washed from the leaves, and then you can lose your spray because you're going to be leached, and also you're going to have to spray again. So this will increase a lot on the costs. Okay. So you can increase a lot the the yields, and the diminish the cost of your farm. So like pest control, it's a key point for me, either in Brazil, either in Africa, because otherwise things doesn't work that well. Uh, well, another key point in the this is really interesting uh, to me, because in Brazil is actually the same. Uh, it's the extension services, because fortunately those providers, they engage professional services on the farm, and those with professional advice when they face in familiar situations. So what's the goal on that? Is that the people who give third-party consulting for the farmer, those extension services, they need to be aware of the climate as well, because in a lot of situations, the farmer itself doesn't know how to work that well with the climate. And the knowledge of those consulting with technology in general, with crop production in general, allied to a great weather forecast prediction, makes the whole difference, because then he can check the weather and use, for example, the record keeping of the platform, and see that they see how the crop season were, and see if the crops are more may face more problems with pests and fungus. So they can use a lot, and the information that they bring from our platform, it helps a lot then to better manage, to say, oh, maybe you're gonna have, because your weather had been very humid, you may have a lot of pests, you may have a lot of fungus. The following days gonna be rainy days, so depending on the crop, you should not harvest right before the rain, because it might get humid. And then they can use all this information to advise you, the farmers, better. So it's outstanding the power of a platform like Ignitia. Well, our business is huge, has a huge context, and we have a meaning in our moods. And we participate into communities as well. Communicating with fellow farmers makes for knowledge exchange that might just help you save your crops and ensure your harvest. So this exchange of information is fundamental for farmers to have better results in general. So it's the thing, it's a participating, it's a tool. We are not offering simply a product in the community. We are offering a whole thing, a whole scope that really is about our goals, our whys. And we have every time that we're gonna implement a solution into our clients, we start with why. Why you need this. So also the feedback from you guys in this participating community, it's important so we can make things better and better every day. So we want to participate in the communities as well. Another thing that helps a lot farmers is to better understand the market research, so they can know better when to sell those crops. So keep eye on the market to know the value of the crops that you have in the farms. The market situation can help you project distribution plans and make better decisions. With that said, it's really important to make this market research so you can plant, especially for tree crops like fruits that are perennial plants that you plant and you take you harvest it a lot of years. So if you have this market research, you can plan better. Oh, I'm gonna implement some strawberry fields because I'm seeing that is increasing the demand for California strawberries, like those on the screen. If you are seeing that you are having specific demands, you can help plan for the long-term success of your farm. And the two that have this all the information, so for the farmers can take those actions and make those decisions, are the weather forecasts. Because everything that we said, participating in the community, talking with other people, using all these platforms and so on, all these pass through their open air industry, which is agriculture. And this open air industry, you need a good weather forecast daily, because the weather can mar all of your hard work if not considered and leveraged. A reliable weather forecast will help you turn weather from a liability into an all-important ally. So you take this weather that sometimes can be a hard time for farmers, and you bring him to the table, to the same side of you in the table. And then you can make better decisions. And with the Ignitia platform, we will send to farmers or by SMS a short and easily understandable message, So you can plan the activities on that day. So if you are going to spray your crops on that day, you might not do it in that day. You might do it the day afterwards. If you're gonna plant, you might wait for a few days until a bit before comes the rain, so you can plant and have rain your crops right afterwards. So this tool is important for those things, and you can have better decisions. And I'm here giving this message for you guys because, like in Brazil, is the same as in West Africa. We have the same stuff. We have the same problems with weather forecasts. The tools that are currently available here are not that good. They do not fulfill the needs of the farmers because it's very imprecise. It's almost like flipping a coin. And this is a huge challenge because the farmer needs the weather forecast, but he currently doesn't have a good tool and simple to use for that. So with that said, Ignitia brings our innovative technology that was built in Europe to help farmers in their decision-making process. So those weather forecasts, all the way to come to simple SMS messages, they were researched. A lot of people put effort making the algorithms and trying and making trials. We are running in West Africa for a lot of years already. We had and we have a great feedback from the farmers that currently use our tools to manage their decisions. And we are seeing an increase in the usage of the tool. And this is so true because Ignitia is bringing all these platforms, these algorithms to Brazil, where we have a similar longitudes from West Africa. And the climate is very similar. So we also going to be taking advantage of those predictions. And I can tell you guys comfortably, after understanding and learning a lot about Ignitia, is that the tool actually works. The weather forecast is extremely reliable. And this reliability makes the whole difference for you guys can make your decisions. So to not delong a lot, okay, I'm gonna leave here the contacts for Ignitia. If you guys wanna take like a print screen or something like it, or we can also send into the chat for you guys. And you can understand, if you want to understand better your solution, if you want to make some specific question about your area, about how we can assist you in this process, you can just reach us. Those are the contacts, the contacts, especially in West Africa. But I will ask for Ike to leave my contact as well. So if you want to exchange some information about how Brazilian farmers are using this tool, I can tell you and I can exchange, and we can make agriculture better and better, not just in Africa, but in Brazil, in everywhere, because the world needs food security. And with the increase of the world population, higher harvests gonna be necessary so we can attend the world demands. And I am pretty sure that Africa will take a huge part of world commodities need in a few years, and the weather gonna be fundamentals so you can increase yields and attend the demands. So now we have a Q&A session. Who have, I think you can make over chat, or if you wanna turn off your audio and screen, you just are open to do it as well.
Wow. Thank you so much, Fabio. That was really amazing. I particularly like that this was brief and very straight to the point. And there was something you said about pest control. While we wait for the questions to come in, I noted something you said about pest control. And there's something that I hear a lot of agronomists say, that pests go all the way from rodents to birds to even man, that man could be a pest on the farm. I've heard that before, that the activities of man can be considered as the activity of pests, that when the activities of man is adversely affecting the crops. And I think that's really, that's an interesting fact to share. So thank you so much for touching on that.
That this makes totally sense. Humans also can be pests because sometimes we take actions without the correct inputs, and then we can end up having more trouble, more problems. So yeah, definitely man can be a pest as well in this environment.
Oh, nice. Okay. Any questions on this?
Yeah, if you guys have any questions about perhaps about precision agriculture, Brazilian agriculture, and so. Moamar make this question really, really interesting. Okay, why weather forecast is inaccurate in Brazil? It is as in developed countries. So Brazil, just like Africa, we are in mid latitudes. So we are not in the northern part of the world. And not most, all of the weather forecast models were developed looking for the north part of the world, the north hemisphere. And Brazil is in the southern hemisphere. So in the developed countries, which most are in the north part of the world, they have good weather prediction systems because the systems were developed to them. And in Brazil, we also have this inaccurate precision because it's on the south. But I have to attest that in Brazil, we do not have more inaccurate forecasting. And that's because now Ignitia is in Brazil. I hope that answer your question, Moamar. Awesome.
Okay, thank you, Mohammed, for that. Any more questions?
No question.
Yeah, you go for it,
Hi,
Marlene.
Marilyn. Yeah, go for it.
Hi.
Hi, Marilyn.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah,
you have the floor.
sorry.
You have a question?
I've just joined.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not to worry. The recording of this webinar will be up on a YouTube channel within 48 hours, so you can always catch up on what you missed, Marilyn. Hope that's fine.
Yeah, Marlene, I strongly advise you to take a look at the presentation. We brought some key factors to a good agriculture management practices and how Ignitia can help you on the management. Uh, just like if we don't, let me see if I have. Yeah, I wanna share with you guys again these slides because that's the most maybe the most important one. It's our why. So our why, it's you guys. Our focus are on the people that actually use the weather forecasts. So smallholder farmers that are facing this climate change, a lot of poverty and food security. And that's where Ignitia mostly enters to answer those problems and those situations that a lot of farmers faces.
Thank you, Fabio. Do we have any further questions? There's a question here.
Can you read it for me?
Yes, that's from Coyote. Coyote Lawal says, how does the solution work? If a farmer wants to plant maize in Ijebu Ode, for example, how can the solution work from land preparation to point of harvest? Can we have an accurate forecast for up to 4 months to enable the farmer time his inputs? I think I would take this. Coyote is definitely Nigerian and he's writing us from southwestern Nigeria. That's where Ijebu is. So, Kayode, yes, the solution can work for not just Ijebu, anywhere in Nigeria. So, you know, the way everything in agriculture is predicated on the weather, and this is because 96% of the farming that happens in the tropics, which is where West Africa, Nigeria, and Lagos is located, is 96% rain fed. 96% of that agriculture has rain as its primary source. Now, the rain is very important for everything you will do. In fact, the rain determines the farming season. When the rain is late, the farming season starts late. When it is early, the farming season starts early. It shows it the beginning and it predicates when the farming season ends. So how our solution works is this. Ignitia gives you very reliable weather information that lets you know when the rain comes. It's basically you knowing when your greatest resource is going to be available so you can time. So take, for example, you know you want to till. Let's say we've had a rather lengthy dry season. The ground is hard, it's going to take a lot more labor. If you know it's going to rain, you let the first rain hit the ground, soften it up before you now plow. So because you know when the rain is coming, you're able to time your farm or operation. That's the tilling, the soil preparation. Now going further, you now know when coming to sowing. I would like to call up a case study of one of Iska farmers from Ghana. Her name is Evelyn, and she's from the other south region of Ghana. Her testimonial is available on our YouTube channel. You can also check it out after this. She had a really emotional story because right after she just sowed, she just planted her seeds and she applied some inputs. There was a heavy downpour that washed away everything, both the seeds and the input, and she lost everything simply because she did not know the rain was coming. Her adventure evening was on her service before that event. She would have known that, oh, the rain is coming. I should wait for the rain to pass before I sow so that my seeds do not get washed away. Likewise, when Evelyn joined, started using, subscribed to ISCA, to SMS service ISCA in Ghana, in one farming season, because she was able to now tell when she was going to weed. She mentioned that there are times when if she wanted to weed and then she said it was going to rain, there was she would she could postpone when to weed, or maybe say, okay, if it's going to rain today, I better weed. If it's going to rain tomorrow, I better weed today. So she was able to time all her farming operations. And as a result of that, at the end of that season, she had a lot more yield than any other season she had farmed. And she had enough money. When she lost everything, her two daughters had to stop school. It was a really touching story. Her two daughters had to stop school because she couldn't afford to send them in school. But after the next season, when she got on ISCA service, she was able to harvest a lot more from the excess she sold and sent her daughters back to school. What changed was that she could simply tell when the rain was coming. And every farmer knows if you can tell when the rain is coming, even with your normal farming knowledge, you would be able to time every other thing well, from your tilling to planting to harvesting. Take, for example, a farmer who is uh, um, farming cotton. You know that if you leave the cotton after the cotton has matured, if you let rain meet it again, the quality is going to drop, and so is the market value. So if you know it's going to rain in the next 3 days, in the next 7 days, the farmer saying that the cotton farmer would then quickly go and harvest his already mature crops, or maybe say a maize farmer who uses sun drying. You know, you don't want the rain to hit it. So a lot of these things, basically every farm operation is predicated on the timing of the rain, and that is what Ignitia does. That's I can say with a lot of authority is not available elsewhere. We let you know exactly what's going to happen when it is going to happen. And the beauty of this is that, unlike other models, we are not just talking about example, Coyote, for you. You said Ijebode. We wouldn't just give you the forecast for Ijebode. We'll give you the forecast for the place your farm is located. Let's take, for example, there is such a thing as Kayode Lawal Close. If you subscribe for ISCA from Kayode Lawal Close, the stuff you would get would be for Kayode Lawal Close, not for the whole of Ijebode, because the weather elsewhere might be different. That's the thing with the tropics. No two locations have exactly the same weather. It's not guaranteed. So that's the beauty of how Ignitia can help you. The forecasts are very hyperlocal. And the second part of your question, yes, you can have that. I would advise that you reach out to the contact slides. You can send an email, or if you could drop your own email, so I would contact you after this, and then we can talk about how you can get this 4-month forecast ahead. Is that okay, Kayode?
Guys, I'm just
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
sharing.
thanks. It's okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kayode. So Fabio, there's another question here from Jeannie Baron. Okay, Fabio just dropped his email address. So
Yeah,
Kayode,
if you guys need something, Coyote or whoever's want to speak more further, just mail me and then we can figure it out.
Okay, so Jeannie.
So if I could ask another question. So for example, I live in Lagos, and then if the farm is somewhere in the southwest, maybe Ibadan, Ijebu-Ode, like I said, is it possible to subscribe from here in Lagos using the coordinates, the exact coordinates of the farm location? Or do I have to be on the farm to subscribe?
For Nigeria, the service available in Nigeria would need you to be at that location. Okay. Now, what this does is, it's because you remember our service, ISCA, is delivered via SMS. So what it does is, at the point of subscription, the AI is going to pick up your location using the closest cell towers to you. So if you subscribe from Lagos, let's take, for example, you're subscribing from Ikeja, Lagos, it's going to pick the cell tower of Ikeja, Lagos, and it's going to give you the forecast for Ikeja, Lagos. So for the farmers who have advice, I always tell them, if it's possible, go and stand at the middle of your farm and subscribe from that point. Okay. So you get the accurate weather forecast for that exact location.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And also, you would need, since you're in Nigeria, you would need a 9 mobile SIM card to be able to subscribe to ISCA service. Nonetheless, do reach out to Fabio so we could discuss how you would get 4 months upfront, because ISCA gives 48 hours ahead per time.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Kayode. Moving on to, there's a question from Jenny Baron. It reads, I checked your website, but it is not so specific. How many days of forecast can you provide? 1, 2, 7, 14 days, more or less? Do you provide probability or likelihood of forecast in the countries where you work? That's Ghana, Mali, etc. Next, how does the farmer pay for services? And what is the cost by user of forecast services? Okay, if I could also take this. Jenny, our forecasts are in different packages. They're the 48 hourly forecast, that's every 2 days you get it. And then you can get weekly forecasts, they can get monthly forecasts, then you can get quarterly forecasts, and then it keeps growing depending on the need of the consumer. Why we made it this way is so that we can serve the most remote of farmers at times because of the ability. Of course, this is a paid service. So because of the financial capacity of the farmers, they may not be able to afford to pay upfront for maybe say 6 months or for the entire year, maybe without support from our partner organizations we work with, people like to Scale and the rest, Missy Core and the rest. Now, what we do is we make it possible for these farmers to subscribe from their mobile phone through their MNOs, and they can pay with their own call credits. So they don't need to make any special payments. The same way they would load airtime on their phone to make calls, local calls, they get charged from their data, from their already recharged airtime. Yeah. Sorry. Fabio?
Yes.
Kayode just dropped his email. If you could please pick it up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a direct message to me. Okay, I've got that.
Okay.
So Jenny, back to your question. Sorry about that interruption. So because they might not be able to afford the whole season at once, we make possible to buy in bits. So it's basically a pay-as-you-go service. As they receive it, they get charged for it. And in Ghana, it is as cheap as 80 pesos. That's a little cheaper than it costs to send a normal SMS. That is what they'll be getting. That's what they'll be paying for this information. It's pay as you go, and it is something that they can pay for. On analysis, we found out that if the farmer were to use a service for an entire season, it will be costing him at most 2% of his entire investment. And then by the time you check his returns, he might be getting up to 80 times return on investment. So this is really, as Fabio mentioned at the beginning of this, our why is really about empowering the small holder farmers to get better results, climb out of poverty, farm more food for the world, and build some resilience. It circles around the farmer. So we make these services very adaptable. It's designed with the smallholder farmer in mind. So that's how the farmer pays. There is another way a farmer can pay. That is when a partner organization, take for example, an international development agency is running a project that wants to empower 50,000 farmers in Nigeria. They come to us, they pay us. Either they pay for the service or they subsidize the service for the farmers that want to use the service. So these are the two ways farmers can pay for Ignitia's services. Then about the forecast we deliver, it is because we are targeting smallholder farmers and we considered the level of literacy, our messages use what we call the 7-word format. So our forecasts arrive with 7 words that are very easy to comprehend, so that no matter the level of literacy of the farmer, he would understand. So take, for example, it comes in 2 lines. Since it is a 48-hour service, the first line is for the day, the second line is for the next day. So you see things like today, rain likely. Fabio, I don't know if you could go to slide 12, the one about keep an eye on the weather. If you could go to that slide, please, so Jenny could see what we're saying.
Yeah, it's there already.
Yes. Jenny, if you could look in the background, that phone right there is reading, it has a sample of the message. It says, today, rain likely. Tomorrow, high chance of rain. So once the farmer sees today, rain, he already knows most likely rain is coming. And he can plan his day. He sees tomorrow, high chance of rain. Oh, it's definitely going to rain. So we make it that way so that no matter the literacy level of the farmer, he is able to not just receive this forecast, but make actual use of it, because it's about the behavioral change. Now that you know the rain is coming, what are you going to do differently? And I hope that answers your question, Jenny. Oh, she already said, okay, thanks, all clear on cost, payment transfer, and different products and packages of forecast. I would also want to add that for organizations that work with farmers, we have a web dashboard that is Ojo. The smallholder farmers are usually on ISCA, that's the FMS service. What Ojo does is Ojo monitors what is going on ground for multiple regions. So take, for example, an organization has 30 farms scattered around Nigeria and Ghana, and then they come on Ojo, and then they onboard all the information. On Ojo, you can put on information about farmer, location, gender, the kind of crop they're farming, whatever data you have on your farmers, you can upload it to the Ojo dashboard and then segment your farmers through that way. So through those data. So if you want to see your farmers who are only farming cotton, you can make that selection and see all of them and communicate to them through the Ojo dashboard. So what Ojo does is it allows you to see what is happening on the ground on all your farms with several weather parameters: humidity, wind speed, chance of rain, intensity, all of that, precipitation and the rest, temperature. You get all of that on Ojo. Ojo is designed for the organizations, while ISCA is designed for the smallholder farmer. So when these organizations want to use, have a lot of farmers who they want on the service, they can onboard them, and the farmers will be receiving the ISCA messages while the organization can monitor the entire project from the Ojo dashboard.
Yeah, there's another question from Peacock.
Oh, Frank Peacock is saying, could you please indicate what mid-season work is necessary and what climate occurs then? Frank, I don't really understand your question fully.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you are speaking about if you want to turn your mic on, Frank, or just let me know if there's like about activities that happens during mid-season, and if you can be more specific on your question, please.
Okay, could you please indicate what he says? Yes, the title of the talk is what I'm asking about. Could you please? Yes, so a lot of what Fabio has talked about are the things that the greatest of farmers do. So success is basically in the little things that a lot of farmers would overlook, like the record keeping. My mother is a farmer, both livestock and crop farming. And if there's one thing that I noticed about her, it was that every time her records were not in order, she lost a lot of money. At a point, she lost almost half of her livestock simply because she didn't keep her records right. So if you go through all of what Fabio has explained in the slides, maintaining the soil management, for example, some farmers believe that soil management is only a pre-season thing. No, weeding is a kind of soil management. Input application is a kind of soil management. Fertilizers is a kind of soil management. Now, for the farmers who had a soil test prior to the season, If you know what is lacking, you know what to replenish mid-season. So if, let's say that your crops have need for zinc, which is a micronutrient, and you never knew that happened because you did not have a prior test, or maybe you didn't know your soil was losing zinc. If you do not top up, your harvest is going to be low. So the basic is to maintain what it is you already have going mid-season, be it record keeping, be it soil management, be it pest control. A lot of farmers, I don't know if, Fabio, I don't know if this is the same in Brazil, but in Nigeria, you'd see farmers who take loans, start up farming, and you wouldn't know if they're farming crops or they're farming wheat. They literally just let the farm go. You find all sorts of things on the farm, and this is money that was given to them on trust. So these are not best practices. The best farmers make sure they control pests. They make use of extension farm services. They don't believe that, oh, I've done this for 15 years. There is something the extension officer would know that you as a farmer with your experience might not know. Unfamiliar circumstances. I remember a case study of when there was an issue on a farm. The lady thought it was another thing, and she just ran to get inputs. She sprayed the crops, and all of the crops died because she had sprayed the wrong input on the crops for the wrong reason. If only she had used an extension officer, if only she had an extension officer assigned to her. If only she had contacted to say, hi, this is what I noticed on my farm. Can you come around and take a look at it? And not just acting like, okay, I've farmed for decades, I know what this is. She wouldn't have lost what she did that season. So participating in community, that is where you exchange information with your fellow farmers. There's something the farmer next door knows that you don't know. As much as you may consider him your competitor, he could also be a valuable ally. Trading information, oh, this is the input I use. Oh, I noticed, like say a farmer who has noticed a pest occurrence at his farm. If he tells you that he's having that occurrence at his farm, you would most likely, if your farms are closed, you'll most likely know that, oh, if this has not gotten to my farm, it's coming, and then you can prepare ahead. So a lot of these things are the things that matter mid-season that a lot of farmers miss out on. Frank, does that answer? Okay, Fabio, you want to add something?
Yeah, Frank. Actually, we mentioned, just as Ike said, we mentioned several activities that are done during the cropping periods. And we want to show you guys like those activities that you already know, that happens, but to present that we Ignitia, we are focusing on them. We are focusing on your activities, in your problems, and the way how our solution can help you with every single point of your problems. And that's actually the theme, and that's why we show this whole background of food production.
Okay. Yes, he says thanks, Fabio. So any further questions? We've hit the hour mark on the webinar. Any further questions? Okay, so I take it that there are no further questions, and we would have to draw the curtain at this point. Thank you so much for being here till now. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Kayode, Marilyn, Muammar. Thanks for being here. And most especially, thank you, Fabio. Oh, I think we have some messages. Let me see what those are. Yes, thank you guys so much for being here. Remember, you can always catch up on this webinar on our YouTube channel within the next 48 hours. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Fabio or myself. We'll be more than glad to assist you with any information you would need. And Kayode, we will be reaching out to you right after this call pretty soon. Expect to hear from a representative of Ignitia so we can discuss how you'll get your 4 month forecast for Nigeria. Thank you so much. And thanks, Fabio, for showing up. Any last words?
And guys, well, thank you very much for the invitation. It's really a pleasure to be with such outstanding people in the African community. I'm here in the team, in the Ignitius team. And if you have any questions, if you want to have any ideas that I might bring from Brazilian reality, that it might suit your reality, just come with me by email or something like that, and we can move our conversation further. And if you need something, just reach me out. I'll be more than happy to assist you in whatever I can. Thank you very much, and have a lovely afternoon or night. For me, it's still 11 a.m. So have a good one, guys.
Thank you so much, Fabio. Thank you, guys. And goodbye. Thanks, Muammar.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Marilyn. I'll be expecting to hear from you, Marilyn. Oh, Gil's joined a bit too late. Gil's, we're just rounding up on this webinar, but you can always catch up on our YouTube channel within the next 48 hours. This recording will be up on our YouTube channel. Gil, could you type something if you hear me? Gils, I hope I'm getting the name right. Okay, thank you. And that's it. Bye.
Bye-bye, guys.